Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. Not in the man cave this morning. Got to take care of some business here. We had a tree over at the red brick house that was leaning into the street, and if it had fallen over, it probably would have taken out part of the foundation and power lines, and probably the cars parked on the other side of the street. So we had to get those cut off. And since there's a strength in numbers, we got a tree over here and another tree that we have to take care of coming down. This has got a limb that's going over towards that house. So that's why I'm here in these mean streets getting these trees cut. But I wanted to talk about what's been missed about the idea of the Commanders calling the Cowboys allegedly. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. I honestly don't. But supposedly, the Cowboys were called about were called about Micah Parsons and the possibility of could they trade Micah Parsons for Terry McLaurin. And allegedly, Jerry Jones laughed at him and hung up the phone. Now, here's the part that I think people are missing. Okay, now, we know that the Commanders, I think they're overrated. I think they're way overrated, to be honest with you. You know, they keep overlooking the fact that their defensive line was worse than the Cowboys last year, and they lost their best edge rusher in Dante Fowler. And so you start looking at that and saying, they may not be as good on defense. And, you know, Dante Fowler led them in sacks with 10.5. And they really haven't done much to address that defense. Now, they've gone through and got Laramie Tunsil. They got Deebo Samuels. They got Michael Gallup. And, of course, they have Noah Brown. But those guys are kind of beat up a bit, so to speak. So here's my thoughts here, okay? If they did call, and I don't know if they did or not, if they did call about the possibility of trading Micah Parsons, and if they were actually throwing in Terry McLaurin in there, okay, everybody's like, oh man, they want to get Micah Parsons. What you're really missing is the fact that they were actually talking about, again, allegedly, that they're talking about trading Terry McLaurin. So if that's the case, then the contract talks must not be going very well for the Commanders and him. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's takeaway here that seems like everybody's missing. Now, again, I don't have any credible sources or anything like that. Now, I know Ernie the Cowboys fan posted it and things, and right now with all the AI stuff and things that are out there, it's very conceivable that it is just a bullshit story. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt that, you know, the Commanders are looking to move on from Terry McLaurin. Or it could be, here's the other side of the equation that just kind of hit me here at this moment, is maybe what it is this guy, man, I'd be scared. I'd be scared. Now, I know he's got his spikes and stuff on there and everything, but damn, I'll be damned if I'd be climbing up in a tree like this. Let me move on over here so I can see a little bit better. What it could be, what this all could be, is to put pressure on Terry McLaurin to work out a deal. You follow what I'm saying? You get some shit started, and so it makes him think like, wait. Makes him say, wait, hold up. You mean they can live without me? That's what it says to me more than anything else, is if this is actually a case where they did make a call, then more than likely it is, okay, we know that the Cowboys wouldn't trade Micah Parsons, okay? Let's be clear here. Cowboys aren't going to trade Micah Parsons. They just do. That's not what they do. They've never traded a prime player in their prime. They hold on to them for too long until they're past their prime and literally ready to leave the NFL. They don't want anybody else to have them. Or if they do, they have them for a year and they're ass, okay? Or they're worn out. So the whole story could be just bullshit made up, and we're reaching for something. I'm just glad. Wow. They make this shit look so easy. I'm just glad that come next Sunday, we're going to have some real football to talk about as opposed to all these bullshit ass stories and so on. Now back to the Commanders here. Here's my take on the Commanders. I think they're going to be overrated. Commander fans, you can get pissed off all you can, but I keep hearing all the talking heads saying how much the Commanders are so full of talent. If you look at their schedule, go through, okay? They won a lot of games. They played well in the playoffs. I'll give you that. But take a look at their schedule and look at how many dog teams that they beat. It was a lot of teams that were below 500. The best two teams they beat in the regular season was the Eagles, one game, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Other than that, everybody else they beat in the regular season was below 500. And they lost to freaking Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys when we were completely decimated by injuries. So, yeah, I think that the Washington Commanders are overrated. And you can take that to the bank. Wow. Now that's about